everybody. Welcome to Quick Conversations with Karen and Carrie. I am Karen, and I empower women to live and work with passion.
And I am Carrie, and I empower women to live and work with joy.
Awesome. Well, we want to get this conversation started.
Woohoo! Ooh, look at hers.
Hey, love your
something
mug.
nice.
Nice. So today we've asked Lori Spano to join us, a fellow coach and friend of ours, to join us in our conversation and share her perspectives on how she lives and works with passion and joy, and how she aligns with those lovely emotions. And Lori, we're really excited to hear your perspective. So thank you for showing up today. And let's tell us a little bit. Let's get started with tell us a little bit about you and about your story.
Okay. Hi. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I am a single mother of 3 adult children, ranging 26, 28, and 30.
Awesome.
And I also am a mom to 2 Pomeranian dogs, and all 5 of them are the love and joy of my life. I definitely derive pleasure from being with all of them. I'm young at heart, so I spend a lot of my time with them. I travel with my young adult children, as well as I am a teacher of high school students. So I spend like 90% of my time with very young people, and this brings me joy every day. I love my job as a teacher. I'm a math teacher in a tech school. So I actually learn a lot myself, because I am learning from different tech programs that I go to, that I create math lessons that have to do with what they're learning. For example, photography, audio, video, nursing, HVAC. So there's like many programs, and I'm learning while I'm teaching them. In order for me to create a lesson for them, I have to learn what they are learning. And I just love their life, their innocence, their joy. And I feel privileged to teach them every day, to actually influence them in a positive way. And today I had a really great experience with that, and it made my day. Can I give you the example?
Yeah,
okay, so some of the math that I also teach is financial literacy. I can create whatever kind of lesson I want. That's the freedom that I have in my job. And I brought in a check stub, and we talked about gross pay and net pay and deductions. And we did the calculations, and I encouraged the students to look at their paycheck stubs if they had a job. And a few of them did, and 2 of them found mistakes with deductions that they weren't required to pay. And they actually reached out to their bosses, because when I went back in the afternoon, their teacher told me that they reached out to their bosses and it has to be rectified. So the mistake was actually a valid mistake, that they're going to get money back. And going forward, they're going to actually benefit from this like lesson. And that made my day. So I felt like I had not just an effect for their future, I had a direct effect on their lives today. So
that's awesome.
I feel like that's a privilege.
Oh, it is. And a real life lesson for a young person. That's so awesome. And kudos to you, because math can be so hard for so many people. You know, it doesn't come naturally to everybody. So kudos to you. That's awesome. That's awesome.
It does, but I try to make the math relatable. So they can take the math and say, oh, now I get what this is for. So the math lessons are usable, user-friendly, so they can take it in their lives and say, oh, what did I need that for? Which a lot of students do. They say, I know what I needed that for. And that's it. That's my goal. So that's what I do. I just came back from a trip with my children, 2 of my children. My youngest daughter is getting married. And I went with them on their bachelorette party, which was a lot of fun. So I derived a lot of joy from that. I danced. I love to dance. I can dance and hold my own with them. So that was a lot of fun. And I brought a friend of mine with me. So when I couldn't hold my own, at least I had my partner in crime to spend some time with.
That's awesome.
As far as I'm also been certified as a QSEA life coach, law of attraction life coach, and I'm a desire factor coach. And my niche is transitional. I'm a transitional life coach, and I like to coach men and women who have gone through similar transitions like I have, and whether it be a divorce or whether they were widowed, where they're at midlife and they need to catapult their lives to a new level and a joyful, good, fun level. And also my second niche, I guess you would say A and B. B would be students who are entering the real world, like in their early 20s, mid 20s, and they're trying to create lives for themselves. And I like to help them or coach them to create these new lives. So those are my two passions. And I've used some of what's working for me. I'm starting to write blogs. Some of the things that have helped me, hoping that maybe some of those things will help others. So instead of taking all those changes and taking them as negatives or making them into negatives, I have taken them as positives. I have taken my house and I've made it all about me, my home now, and I've decorated it so it reflects my new life. I have beautiful crystals from all over the place from my travels in my dining room. So I took like a very traditional family-oriented dining room, and now it's filled with crystals on antique tables. It's just, I had one wall hand painted. I ripped the wallpaper off of the wall, and it's just a reflection of me and my new life. And that room in particular brings me a lot of joy.
Now, Lori, if you were to talk to one of your clients or even a friend that's in that transitional stage, right? And they, like you, they have a home and it's all the old and stuff. What would you tell them? How would you impress upon them the importance of changing it up to show their passion for their own life in their own authentic self? What would be the conversation there?
Okay. Well, I would tell them to look around their home and find the places where they think that now they have the freedom to change, to reflect their new lives. That's going to bring them joy on a daily basis. So for example, I have some clients and some friends who are avid readers. So take a room. It doesn't have to be a room that was meant for a reading or a library, but now it's your room. You can do whatever you want with this room. So turn it into a library. Put nice bookshelves. If you don't want to invest in anything new, buy some old ones or get some old ones, paint them, decorate them, put all your favorite books in there, paint the room. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money to make a change that's going to positively reflect who you are now. Just decide what you need to do and go room by room. And as you can, make those changes. Don't feel pressured or rushed. Just plants, live things make everyone feel good. I've had some clients and friends who have said, wow, I can't keep a plant alive. And I don't know if I have a green thumb, but there's always a plant you can find that's easy to take care of, that might not require as much sun, that might not, require as much TLC as another one. And I have plants that I have outside in the summer and inside in the winter, because I live in the Northeast, so I can't have my plants outside.
Well, and there's so many places. Like I just saw an ad for a plant company, and it's like for people who kill plants, and it's like they come in pots that you just fill it with water, and once a month you just put water in it, and the plants live. That would be great for people who think they have a brown thumb or black.
Exactly. Right. Or pick the brain of somebody who owns a plant shop. So there's a plant shop that I go to with my daughters, and we buy some plants from her. And she gives us advice. Like I was killing one of the plants, and she said, put it in the shower. So my plant took a shower last night. I made she says, because it's like the rain coming through the plant and it needs to drain out the bottom. Oh, that makes sense. I had put it in a ceramic pot and that wasn't working. So I realized I actually went and bought one of those cheap Home Depot pots with the holes on the bottom and took it out of the nice ceramic pot and put it back in that pot. And now the water just drains through, and it's starting to come alive again. So even my children know that I love plants, and my son just got me a tropical plant for Christmas, and I managed to keep that alive. I was kind of nervous about that, but so far so good.
Well, and so what a great analogy you can share with your clients about the plant in the shower, right? The water needs to, you need to be washed, and all the old needs to go out, the stagnant water in the bottom of that ceramic pot. It's kind of like us as humans energetically, we need to detox, and we need to bring in the good, bring in the passion and the joy to revitalize ourselves and our lives. How awesome.
That is a great analogy, and I definitely will use that. I just think anything that's alive is important, to be surrounded by life. That's important for me, and I like to share that with my clients and my family and friends.
What about mosquitoes? How do you feel about mosquitoes? They're alive.
Not really great about the mosquitoes. And I do have holes in my screen, some of them, so they do enter my home.
One of the points I love that you touched on was the fact that you made your home a sacred space for you, really. And it's funny, I listened to a podcast the other day about a woman was talking about how, so especially for women, so many times, everybody else has their space in the house, but a lot of times we're relegated to the kitchen table, or we don't have a spot of our own. The kids do, the husband does, the partner does, whatever, but often we're at the table and it's serving dual purpose. Once the kids move though, and you've got more space in the house, it's really nice to be able to set up kind of your sacred space that's for you, full of crystals, full of whatever it is that you love, full of plants that don't die. Whatever that space is, I just think that's so important. Yeah, you need to have a space where you walk into and you just feel, this is my space. I love this mural on the wall, or whatever it is. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Because we show up 100% better when we're living with the passion and joy. And I can see, for you, Lori, teaching the math and teaching people, how to be their authentic self and bring that into their reality just lights you up. And I mean, that's important, because playing small doesn't serve anybody at all. Nobody, not even the mosquitoes. Maybe the aliens, but not the mosquitoes.
No mosquitoes. And I also incorporate exercise into my life every day. And it's just who I am. It's not forced. I have to, because when I feel like I'm dragging physically, spiritually, emotionally, just fatigued, I still do it, because when I find I'm done, I'm a whole different person again. The joy is back. The energy is back, which is some people don't really understand that exercise will actually give you energy, not deplete you of energy. So for me, I swim in the summer, I bike in the spring and fall, and I do my elliptical back here in the winter and the treadmill.
So yours doesn't have clothes hanging on it, and it doesn't have dust on it. That's good.
No, it really doesn't. It's very important for me, and everybody, my 3 children know that this is something I have to do. So it's kind of understood. So, and I also raised my children to embrace activity and exercise. So it's important for them too. So they understand.
Get it.
And so it's important for them too.
That was a big part of our studies too, with QSCA and desire factor, how important movement is just in general. Our bodies need to move, and you have to make it a priority. So good for you. Good for you for doing that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know, Karen, you ride bicycles also.
Yeah, Chris and I like to hike. We love to hike in Sedona, and of course we can't get there very often these days. But yeah, hiking and biking, and I have my little routine in the morning that I do every day. And yeah, yep, you just feel better. You just feel better when you can do that. So
nice. So Lori, it like most people have a bucket list, right? What's your number one item on your bucket list that would bring you the most passion and joy that you would like to accomplish?
Growing my new coaching career would be would bring me the most joy. That would be the number one. I have a list. Because I'm very positive and optimistic about my future and making all these positive changes, this will be like number one as far as what I like to do to bring me the most joy in my life.
That's awesome. I always thought jumping out of a plane was on my bucket list. And then I got older and I'm like, why would I do that?
No, I did, what is the line called again? Zip lining in Puerto Rico, like 7 and 8 years ago, the fastest, longest, highest one. And that's okay. That was it. I'm done. No jumping out of planes for Lori.
That's checked off the bucket list.
Yes. And it wasn't even my bucket list, but I went along with it.
I had a friend years ago that I just absolutely loved how she lived life, right? She is like 20 years older than I am. And she would just decide, well, I want to learn fencing, like with the sword, not, barbed wire. She already knew how to do that, but she would just go and do it. Like she would think of it and then she would just go and do it. It didn't matter if she had any clue on how to do it. She was really good at that whole, I want to jump out of planes. I'm like, you go, girl. I'm not there with you. But I always admired that aspect out of people who she just lived with so much passion for life itself, for the new experiences, for sharing those experiences with others. And I think that's, like you said, with coaching and serving others especially in your niche about the transition, that just like, look, there's goose pimples. Yeah, seriously. So yes, definitely awesome. I look forward to seeing where you go with your transformational coaching. I love that, because that's awesomeness. Like,
thank you.
Awesome. You'll be the awesomericious of it all. I don't know how to spell that word.
You could probably sing about it, I bet.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think I could sing about that one.
Well, Lori, what cool things are you working on right now? Anything that you want to share with the group?
Well, what Carrie just said is to constantly learn new things and grow. I do have a bucket list of things that, for example, not fencing, but I used to play tennis, and it's been years, but I went away once 6 years ago and played not paddleball. Now I'm having a brain freeze.
Racquetball?
No, I played racquetball too. So I played badminton in high school team, tennis. I played racquetball in college competitively, and now I want to learn how to play
Ping pong.
pickleball. Pickleball.
Oh.
I feel like that's a perfect match for me and pickleball. So that's on my list. So I started joining social media groups just to learn about where they play and all about the teams. And it's relatively new, but it's growing quickly. So pickleball is on that list. I wanted to possibly see if there was, and I sometimes look into this and I haven't found it yet, but almost like a senior team for competitive swimmers, because I swim and I would love to compete swimming, but it has to be over a certain age range. So I haven't found it yet, but I know it has to exist somewhere.
So why don't you create it?
Yeah.
There you go. That's a good project. We look forward to hearing how you created your swim competition for women over the age of 50.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yep. Love that idea.
Even though we're only 39.
Yeah. Thank you for the happy birthday the other day, Carrie, for my 39th birthday. I appreciated that.
You're welcome.
Really, really appreciated that.
You didn't know when you came on this call that Carrie would give you homework.
I love giving people homework. It just brings me so much joy.
I know, and thank you for the gardening book too, because I am an outdoors person, and that is something that I will be. Again, it's still kind of cool here, but in the next couple of weeks, we're good to go. We're definitely going to be outside starting to clean up and garden. It's been very cool here.
It's been cool everywhere. It's still cold here. And I'm in Northern California. It's craziness.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then I'd like to, this has been on my bucket list for a while though. I'd like to learn another language. I mean, I could speak French from high school, but not like I would like to, but I'd really like to learn Italian.
Ooh, there you go. You know, there's that app, the Duolingo app.
I would like to learn how to write it, read it, and speak it. So I want to immerse myself in it as if it's like I know it as well as I do English, although sometimes I'm not sure I know English very well.
That's because you live in New York. And there's a melting pot of all the different slang words, all that kind of stuff, just all swirled together in that little area.
I know. When I student taught, I was told I student taught in the Philadelphia area, and yes, I got a lot of that.
Awesome.
So that's also another thing on my bucket list.
That's awesome.
Cool. So
got a lot going on.
Yeah, a lot going on. Well, I look forward to seeing what you do with your swim competition, and you're learning a new language and everything. And I am so glad you were able to come and join us for our quick conversations. Yeah, it has been fun for sure.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed this, and I'm honored that you chose me to converse with today.
Absolutely. So let's get this conversation started, girls. So we'd love for our viewers to put comments down in the bottom of our video, and we'd love to hear your thoughts and what brings you passion and joy. And in the meantime, thank you, Lori. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you.